All right. Welcome back to Eyes Open Media. Prophet John here. Hope you guys are doing well. Okay, so somebody, what's this person's name? I don't even know. I'm just gonna call MJ. So MJ posted in the Telegram group something he wanted to add and let people know about. So his friend had a dream. Okay, so it's a dream about his friend. Okay, so actually his friend had a dream about Donald Trump and the markets. Okay, so you can see the markets are looking good today. They're up 600 points, 23,998. Okay, we were down yesterday. Today we're up. And let's see how high we go today. Can the Bulls actually break that 24,000 area? And like I said before, for you guys that are following me on Patreon, you know that the key level that the Bulls must close above is the low of wave one, which is like 24,600 and something. Okay, that's going to be a very key level. Also, this 24,000 is a key level as well. They're trying to break it now. But getting up to that, getting a close over that wave one low price is going to be very key for the Bulls. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if we go back to 30,000 or 27,000, 28,000, 29,000. It's all debt. This is all the Federal Reserves and them lending money to their banker friends to buy the markets up. The earnings are going to be historically bad, and because of that, the Feds are going to be buying like crazy. They're going to try to prevent the markets from crashing because of the earnings that are coming out. So people are going to be putting out earnings. The numbers are going to be historically bad, and the Feds do not care. They are going to be printing like they've never printed before. Okay, so if you think they're only going to do 30 billion a day in the market, you're wrong. They're going to be injecting 500 to $1 trillion a day into this markets to make sure it doesn't crash. Um, and we'll see how that goes. At some point, God is going to pull the rug underneath them. At some point, God's going to do it, and He could use the dinar to do it. Okay, He could use the dinar to do it. We'll see. He could do it by revaluing currencies. So we'll see. We'll just see what God has in mind to crash the markets. But here's the dream that MJ's friend had. He said, my friend had a dream, and he dreamt that President Trump was freaking out at a press conference because the markets had crashed to, in their words, to zero. Okay. So this person isn't that familiar with the markets. They had to look up what that it meant. Okay. So the person in MJ's dream isn't familiar with the markets. Okay. His friend. Okay. He's not familiar with the markets at all. And, but he had a dream that Donald Trump was freaking out at a press conference and because the markets had crashed to zero. Now, I don't know if the markets are going to zero, but you get the point. It's a dream, and it's a dream. I didn't have the same dream as Donald Trump in it, but I had the dream where somebody I know was in a machine, and that machine went all the way up, like they're doing right now for the Dow. Right? We stopped at 18,000. They stopped it at 18,000, and it was a temporary bottom. And Bo Peloni called that correctly with my prophetic friend. 18,000 to 20,000 would be the temporary bottom, and then the markets would rise for a short period, and then we would then see the next wave down, which would be called the plunge by Bo Peloni. Okay, so and Bo Peloni believes that's going to happen now. He believes that's going to happen after Passover. So between the last day of Passover to the April 30th is where Bo Peloni believes that's where the crash will happen, or the plunge. He's calling it a plunge will happen. Okay. And so, man, so I'm looking out for revaluations of currencies or something else. You know, as something else, something that's going to trigger the markets to plunge. Okay, and I don't know what that could be. It could be the asteroid. Maybe they start talking about the asteroid coming on the media, and they emphasize it strongly. Oh my God, it's actually going to hit Earth, and blah blah. You know what I mean? They could use that as a fear tactic because fear drops the markets. Um, they could maybe they play around with the virus's death toll and skyrocket the death toll and freak everybody out. Oh my God, 10,000 people died in one day on the virus, and really no one died. But they know they could jack it up to 10,000 and scare the crap out of people that way, to stop the markets from going back up. But and there's some other things that they could do as well. Stop printing money into the markets, you know what I mean, and propping it up is another thing they can do. But whatever, you know, it's going to, both points said that it was going to surprise the crap out of them because they're thinking we're going to inject trillions of dollars into the markets and send it back to 30,000. And Bo Peloni says God is going to come in at some point here within the 16th of April to the 30th and crash this market, and it's going to surprise all the elites, including Donald Trump and others. It's going to shock them what God does to them. That's why. And then this person said, MJ said, his friend had a dream that Donald Trump was absolutely shaking and struck because the markets had crashed. He didn't see it coming. He thought that they could print and print and print and buy the markets back up and create this fake markets and go into his presidency elections with fake markets and things, and then maybe he would then crash it after he won a second term, you know, and then go into a real market environment from there. But he was so shaken because he didn't see this coming. Just like a lot of the elites were shaken about the virus that they didn't see coming as well. Now some of them saw it coming because some of them were behind this virus. The United Kingdom, some of the Democrats, and the China Communist Party. A lot of these people, some of these people were behind that virus, including Bill Gates and others, right? So they some of them saw it coming, but many of them were blinded by the virus as well. Okay, they didn't see it coming as well. We were saying a black swan event was going to happen. We didn't know what it was though. Okay, so when the virus came, we're like, oh, there it is, and there's our black swan event, you know. But be careful here with the markets. Okay, it doesn't matter if it goes up. At some point, the markets are going to crash and or plunge. You know, and so don't think that okay, this thing is going back up and we're gonna be chilling and everything's gonna be fine. It's when you don't expect it, that's when it's gonna happen. Okay, so Bo Peloni is saying that between the 16th and the 30th is when he believes that it's going to fall out. It's going to just fall out the sky, and no one's going to know why. It's just going to happen, and it could be the revaluation in Iraqi dinar. It could be something else. It could be it could be some other thing. It could be something else that comes out of nowhere that we don't know about. Okay, that we're not even thinking about. All the things that have come in my mind is the asteroid. They start pouring the fear porn in the asteroid, or they revalue currencies, or the Fed just start a credit freeze happens where the Feds can't, for some reason they can't, their machine stop working, the printing money, it fails on them. Like the machine just literally fails. The money machine that they use to inject digital money into the markets completely shuts down. Somebody shuts that down. You know, one of the good guys, and they keep saying good guys and stuff. There's no really such thing as good guys. There's just different types of elites. But whatever. Okay, so the new elites shut that printing system down. They hack it, or China hacks it, or Russia hacks it, right? And then they can't get into it to print money, and the markets just crumble. Okay, so I just thought about that right now. Like that might be what they use. Okay, if it's not the currency revaluations, it could be China, Russia, or somebody else, or one of the new elites go into the system of the Fed that they use to print the money, and they hack it so where that the Feds can't get in there to print and prop the markets up. Because remember, they're doing this electronically. So it can be hacked. Okay, the system can malfunction and freeze. And if that happens, then the Federal Reserve will not be able to prop the markets up, and the bankers won't be able to prop the markets up because they need the money from the feds digitally to buy the stocks, and no one's able to buy the stocks, and everybody else around the world is selling stocks because everybody's selling stocks. They're not buying stock. Majority of people are selling, not buying. The feds are the ones that are buying with their banker friends. That's why the markets are propped up. Okay, so what if that machine stops? What if that system stops? Right? So there's that's the final break in the system, right? Because their system no longer works. It freezes or it crashes, or you know what I mean? So that's a system. The system the Fed used to print money, God could freeze it, or he could stop it from working. He could literally destroy it. Of course, God can destroy it right now as we're talking, right? But God's going to pick a certain period of time where they all believe that everything is back to normal or going back to normal, and then boom, like that, he freezes it or he stops it from working, and maybe he revalues some currencies as well. And then things just plunge because they can no longer prop the markets. And Donald Trump is freaking out, and he's on stage because remember, he does the daily stage. He does the daily press conferences because of the virus. So this is the perfect time to do it. This is the perfect time to do it between now and the 30th, because Donald Trump every day is doing press conferences about the virus. So this will be the perfect time to do it. If you're going to crash the system or crash the markets and freeze up the Federal Reserve's printing machines, this is the perfect time to do it because Donald Trump is meeting with the media every single day. So when that person saw it, that means that it has to happen within the next 2 weeks. It has to happen within the next 2 weeks, because once we go back into real life, Donald Trump's not going to have time to be talking to the press every day. He has to get back to being the president. Right now, as things are locked down, he has time to meet with the press every day. But once it reopens everything, he's not going to have time. So it must happen between now and April 30th. It must happen. The markets must crash. Okay, and so that Donald Trump then goes out there, as MJ's friend saw, and shaking and letting people know that the markets have crashed, and he doesn't know what to do. It's going to shock the elites. God is going to shock the elites and Donald Trump, because he told them to stop printing. And not only did they not stop printing, they absolutely went completely overboard, right? They have gone to levels of no return, right? Now, one of the things that the Feds could do still is negative interest rates. We still haven't seen that yet. Okay, so we went to and maybe they will do that when the crash is happening, right? While it's crashing, they might announce negative interest rates. Okay, so we don't know. Okay, we don't know if they're going to do that or not. But Donald Trump's been begging for negative interest rates. If it starts to plunge again, we could see negative interest rates as well. And the Feds could then go even larger printing, right? If they even have the machines, because if God freezes their machines and freezes their system, then it doesn't really matter. Okay, but if God chooses to do something else like revalue currencies, and then we see the plunge from because of the revalue currencies, then that's a different story. The Feds could still print and print and print, but the markets are still plunging. All right, so it was an interesting dream from MJ's friend, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So be careful, okay? Be careful here. Play it accordingly. If you're trading, don't look for law. Don't look long term. Just come in and get out. Get in on some trades and get out, and that's fine. Don't have money in here and say, oh yeah, we're gonna be fine. For the next 5 years, I'm gonna keep my money in the markets. I'm gonna be fine. No, I wouldn't. For me personally, I wouldn't do that. I'm in the four stocks. I'm gonna be buying more than four stocks today. It looks like, and while the markets are green, and we'll see where the markets go. But at some point here, God's got to pull the rug, because Donald Trump's about to reopen the economy back up, and it's time to pull the rug. Okay, so yeah, so let's see what happens going forward. Peace out, God bless, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Eyes open.